It's coming and it can't be stopped. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the unfolding of biblical prophecy. In the Bible, it talks about an uptick in massive extreme weather, such as volcanoes and earthquakes. And this is exactly what we're witnessing in today's day and age. Let me give you a couple examples here. Right now, and over the past 30 days, we have seen massive rattling and rumbling taking place on Ridgecrest as well as the Cascadia Fault Zone here in the United States of America. Not to mention, over the past month, I'm just talking the month of January, we've seen major upticks in volcanic activity, such as we've never seen before, leading many to ponder the question, why are so many volcanoes erupting all at once? Let me just give you a little piece of what I'm talking about. Check out this first article here. Now, this is on the MiamiHerald.com. Now, the volcano there in Alaska spews up ash cloud in 2 strong bursts. Now, this volcano went off Monday, January 6th, and spewed 25,000 feet of ash into the air. That's equivalent to almost 5 miles of ash in the sky. I mean, 5,280 feet in a mile. That's almost 5 miles high into the air. But it's not just in Alaska over this past over this past January. Take a look at this one here in Mexico, and this is on npr.org. Mexico's most active volcano erupts and spews an ash cloud nearly 20,000 feet into the sky. Now, this happened on January 9th, Thursday, and this is equivalent to 3.5, even over that, miles high of ash into the sky. This can have serious repercussions on our food supply, on people living in the area, and those are just the simple things to think about as well. Here's another. It's not just Mexico and Alaska. It's also happened in Peru. Here's newshub.com. And this was published January 1st. Volcanic eruption in Peru sends ash cloud 3,000 meters into the sky. Now, as of January 12th, this particular volcano was still spewing stuff up into the sky. You can see volcanicdiscovery.com. The volcano has a volcanic ash advisory, and it's talking about 24,000 feet now in this ash advisory that has been spewed into the air. That's, again, a huge portion. Now, let's go on over to the Philippines, because it's also happening, as many of you have already heard this one, in the Philippines there. The WashingtonPost.com published January 13th, the Taal volcano eruption forces thousands to seek safer ground in the Philippines. Obviously, this is the most current and one of the more important ones because it's affecting people locally. But the volcano hasn't erupted since 1977, and here it is doing that. The cloud of ash that blew 60 miles north, all the way as far as Manila, and it blew up into the sky. Now, they're still guesstimating figures anywhere between 6 to 9 miles up into the air. That's massive. And right now, they actually are fearing that this volcano in the Philippines could hit a level 5 event. Thereby, that means that there can be many casualties there, and something we need to pay attention to. But this is all the activity of volcanoes just in the month of January, leaving many people over the internet to say and ask the question, what's causing this? Why is it happening? Of course, I believe this has a lot to do with biblical prophecy. But let's also bring this little piece into the puzzle. On the screen, you see a map of some of the volcanoes all around the world that are currently erupting. You could see 25 total. Now, it's not uncommon to have earthquakes erupting all across the globe. There's nothing to panic about on that map. But needless to say, I mean, we have volcanoes erupting all the time in Hawaii, not Hollywood. I guess we can call actors volcanoes. Bette Midler, case in point, no. But anyway, we have volcanoes erupting in Hawaii all the time. So this not a panic chart here because it's something that happens all often. However, there are ones that should be brought attention to, such as some of the ones that I listed earlier. Now, not only do we have volcanoes at risk all across the globe, but there's some here at home we need to pay attention to. We have Alaska. We have volcanoes in Alaska, in California, in Washington, in Arizona. We've got a ton in Flagstaff that are dormant, but they're there. And we have ones in California as well. And I think we need to start paying attention to some of these in light of what's going on. Let me show this article to you, and this is on Catholic.org. Did you know California is in danger from 20 volcanoes? Scientists are warning we need to monitor these locations. Now, this was an article put out earlier, I believe a year ago or a year or 2 years ago, but it hasn't yet gone heated. And I think we need to start heating it, because here's another article I think you'll find critical, sfgate.com. These are the California volcanoes most likely to erupt first. Now, I did an entire article on this, but I think this is critical as well. But on the top of the list was Mount St. Helens. Now, we know Mount St. Helens is there in Washington. However, it's still on the top of their list. And the ones that fell right below that are two in California, which were Mount Lesson and Long Valley Volcanic Region in California. Now, if you want to see some of the other ones, you can read that article. I'll leave it linked below. But needless to say, these are some of the ones that seismologists, geologists, and scientists are all telling us we need to pay attention right here at home. And I think we should heed their warning. But that's not all. As many of you know, we've also seen a massive uptick in earthquake activity. Now, a certain amount of earthquakes every year are normal, but let me take you to usgs.gov and show you a couple of maps here. The first map here that you see shows 585 2.5 magnitude earthquakes or higher just in the past 7 days in North and South America. Now, it's common to have 2.5s all in this region, so I don't really see a cause of alarm for that. When they start crossing more like 1,000 over a week, that's when my alarm bells go off a little more. The next map here shows 4.5 earthquakes or higher worldwide over the past. Now, this is worldwide, 111. I think that's an interesting number, but nonetheless, 4.5 quakes or higher are something we need to pay attention to. But I think the most significant map is this one. This is a map from USGS that shows significant earthquakes worldwide over the past 30 days. Significant, right? We're talking 5.0s and up. And there's been a total of 15. And we always have significant earthquakes, but however, there is times that it's more active than others, and this is definitely one of those times. And again, we have rattling and rumbling here at home. We had at one point or later last year over 1,000 and counting earthquakes in the Ridgecrest area. That's something we need to pay attention to when you have that amount of activity over a week, because case in point, we have yet to be warned ahead of time of a volcanic eruption or an earthquake. It always happens and nobody's told anything. And I think that's why we, the people, have to take this onto ourselves and start monitoring and take our own precautions, which is just one reason I bring these things to light to all of you. But let's not also forget, late last year, I did a report with Steve Quayle. You can check out his website at stevequayle.com. He's got great stuff on there. And I've gone to his convention, amazing stuff. But anyway, I invited him on the channel, and he talked about how NASA was sending planes overhead and monitoring some of the magma there and some of the earthquake activity there in California. And it went from California, I think, to Idaho, and then back to California. And now I think I looked on the website and it was dormant now, or they haven't done anything for 14 days. But needless to say, they have been monitoring the activity. What do they know that we don't? Well, that's the good question. And I think that's something to ponder. And I think that's why Quayle also brought it up. But anyhow, I wanted to kind of put all that together, let you know what's going on, give you a heads up, especially if you are living in or around those areas. It's always good to take precautions. And there's always Yellowstone as well. Anyhow, I'd love to get your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Please leave them below. I'm Lisa Haven, and don't forget to check out my partner at noblegoldinvestments.com. If you've not converted your 401k, I want to highly encourage you to give Noble Gold Investments a call or check out their website, find information, and start converting that over. Don't rely on the dollar. There's one day that it could just hit us all in the face, economically speaking. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.